action here at the Red Mile. First post coming your way at 7 p.m. Once again, picture-perfect weather conditions. The track will be lightning fast. We saw a world record last night, world record equaling performance for the 2-year-old trotting fillies, and I think we can expect more of the same all weekend long here at the Red Mile with perfect weather conditions. Temperature was in the low 80s today. We'll drop down into the upper 60s by the time the card ends, and winds pretty light coming from the northwest. Again, the track will be lightning fast. And thanks for joining us. My name's Sam McKee, joined by race caller extraordinaire, Mr. Gabe Pruitt, handicapper extraordinaire as well, with the exception of last night. And we only have one change, and that's just a medication update on tonight's racing card. Looking ahead to the 6th race, the American Jewel late closer, named after that fantastic filly and Dan Patch Award winner. Number 2 fits well in the 6th race, races with the medication Lasix for the first time. First time Lasix on number 2 fits well in race 6. And Gabe Pruitt, last night, you noticed a trend. You looked at the charts, watched the replays again. Last night here at the Red Mile, you had to be close to the front end to win, it seemed like.
It was a little bit of an oddity, Sam. Obviously, the track usually plays fair, if not maybe a bit biased towards the closers. Last night we had 12 races. No one won sitting any worse than 4th at the half. In fact, there was only one horse that was sitting 4th at the half, a couple sitting 3rd. The other 9 winners all were 1st or 2nd at the half. So a little bit of a speed bias last night.
And usually this track plays towards closers. It's the fairest racetrack that I know, especially in this day and age where speed dominates in harness racing, and usually closers really have an advantage here. But it was strange. The Little Brown Jug, speed did not carry last week in Delaware, Ohio, and now speed's carrying so far this Grand Circuit meet at the Red Mile.
There's no question it was a bit strange. As you mentioned, that week at Delaware was phenomenal compared to what we are used to with that track. However, over the regular meet, the track was playing to the closers like it normally does, so I expected probably to revert back to that at some point.
And we have some fantastic action for you this weekend. Now, tomorrow night, our final evening card for the Grand Circuit, 7 p.m. post. We've got the undefeated 2-year-old pacing colt Art Speak. Listen to this in the Bluegrass for 3-year-old pacers. Let's Drink on It. He's watching in Limelight Beach, side by side by side in a division of the Bluegrass. Always Be Mickey, the Indiana sired colt that is so fast he's in the other division. Should be some fantastic racing on the 12-race card. Then on Sunday afternoon, the Trotters take center stage. How about Nunzio? How about Father Patrick? How about Shake It Carey and so many other top performers? 1 o'clock post time on Sunday should be a lot of fun. Well, Gabe Pruitt, let's go through tonight's racing card, and we start the first race with a colt that'll probably be 1-9 and probably deservedly so. That's number 1, Canepa Hanover. Earlier this year, he was the best thing since sliced bread. Jimmy Takter thought this could easily be his best 2-year-old trotter. He's had some issues at times, but he certainly has a lot of raw talent.
Well, that's interesting to note, Sam. He has proven he does have a talent. Big price tag last fall, $300,000 Harrisburg yearling. Finished a length back there at the Meadowlands, second behind Guess Who's Back, who we know is a top-level trotter. I thought we might get a bit better price here on Canepa Hanover. Just the inconsistency, time off, has shown a break, scratch sick as well. So a couple of question marks coming in, but there is no question he has the talent.
So we move on to race 2, the first division of the Crawford Farms Bluegrass Series for the 2-year-old pacing fillies. Number 7, Better Be Steppin'. Looks like the best on paper. That was just some monster effort at Hoosier Park last time out.
It really was. She laid down some wicked fractions there, just unheard of for a 2-year-old pacing filly. Out of there in 25 and change, down to the half 54 and change. She had every excuse to stop in that one, but actually dug in well to fend off her rivals. And speaking of the speed bias, Sam, I believe the top 3 horses in race 2 are all going to be firing out early. That's the 3 Devil Child, the 5 Well Hello There, and the 7 Better Be Steppin'. I see them all blasting out here, sitting 1, 2, 3, and finishing that way as well.
Well, I've got a long shot in that race. I actually like number 6, Hillary's Style, and she made a great middle move at Delaware on the Standardbred on Jug Day. Tired late, but everybody tired late, it seemed like, with the exception of Limelight Beach that day. And honestly, Danny Collins said in an interview last week at Delaware that this is a top filly, and he really thinks that she's going to be a major player. If Better Be Steppin' makes a misstep, I think Hillary's Style could at least be on the board at a huge price there. And by the way, Corey Callahan driving Better Be Steppin', he's going to be looking for UK football tickets from you. When I told him you hooked me up, he was very jealous. We move ahead to the third race, which is a division of the Walnut Hall Limited Cup. for the 2-year-old trotting colts. And the Peter Houghton winner is back, number 3, Centurion ATM.
Well, he's been dominant on a big track. First couple of starts came in Pennsylvania Sire Stakes Company on the 5/8 ovals, but when he transitioned over to the Meadowlands, just razor sharp there. Peter Houghton champ, as you mentioned, and had a nice tiger there over the track at Pocono. Really looks to be the best here in the opener. Going to try the 8 Southwind Striker for a second. Tim Tetrick's choice in here over the 1 and 5. He actually opted off one of trainer Frank Antonacci's and one of trainer Jimmy Tactor's to drive the 8 Southwind Striker. He had a good third there last time in Canada.
And the guys that have been driving him in Canada, Steve Condren and Roger Mayotte, excellent horsemen and excellent drivers, but more towards the twilight of their career, in all honesty, and more conservative than the Bionic Man Tim Tetrick, who hops aboard. I think he's the main danger to Centurion ATM. But one thing we've seen with Okas Fanstead in his first year here in North America, his horses seem fit no matter how long they've been off. He's got a great conditioning program, and I think that Centurion ATM will certainly be on top of his game. Fourth race, another division of the Crawford Farms for the 2-year-old pacing fillies. Well-balanced group. I loved Native Bride, the dam of number 5, Heavenly Bride. Brian Sears and his family owned her, and Brian Sears and his family owned this one. The mile track could be the key, joining the barn of Casey Coleman. Even though she's winless, I'm going to try her.
Well, she obviously has a ton of talent. You just do not see horses that are last turning for home at Yonkers get much money. She finished up a close third there in that final. We've got 4 fillies in here from the first crop of Rock and Roll Heaven. I'm actually going with the 3 Sassa Hanover for trainer Ron Burke. Tired a bit there in that New York Sire Stakes final. Off track, I'm willing to excuse that effort. I look for a big bounce back tonight.
And I think they barred the Burke 3-ply entry in that race, and all of them finished off the board. So made for some crazy wagering there. We move on to the 5th race, second division of the Walnut Hall Limited Cup, sponsored by Megan Allen Levitt. Big matchup here. Billy Flynn is undefeated, the 4-horse Pennsylvania Sire Stakes champion, and he's looked great, but I'm a huge fan of Muscle Diamond. I went with the 3, but either or in this one.
Well, it looks like a 2-horse race on paper, as you mentioned. You know, in years past, we've seen some of the top-level trotting talent come out of the state of Pennsylvania. I'm just not convinced that they were as good maybe this year as we've seen in the past. There's no question Billy Flynn is just ultra-talented, but he's going to be a very short price in here. I went the same direction as you did. I tried the 3 Muscle Diamond. Really like that second-place finish from Canada last time. He rallied from far back there, and you can see the Star Priory actually beat Crazy Wow, the New York Sire Stakes champion, so he has plenty of talent as well.
And I think Muscle Diamond trotted his last 3 quarters up in Canada in 124 and change, because you can count their lengths as totally accurate because they have the Trackit system up there. So their charts, if you assume a fifth of a second equals a length, he trotted a big last 3 quarters. 6th race, a wide open late closer, the American Jewel, big field of 11. Number 2 Fitzwell, his first time Lasix. She raced in the Jugad, even though there's some older mares in here, might have a little bit of a class edge.
Well, I believe she does as well. She is the one to beat, and as you mentioned, adding Lasix there as well. Finished up an even 5th there against Jughead rivals, but big field here, Sam. It kicks off the pick 4. If things do get a bit crazy out in front with a lot of movement in this one, I think we could get a price, and I'm going to go to the outside here to the 9, My Lady Day. She does have a lot of early speed for trainer Joe Holloway. Corey Callahan does get the call here. She had a nice win as a 2-year-old here last season.
She's on the program cover in that 5-horse photo.
That's exactly right. So that was a big effort. I believe she could leave out, sit close, get a good trip in here, and maybe kick off the pick 4 with a big price.
Her last race at Freehold at the bottom level, I happened to watch that race. I don't know how she lost. I just couldn't go with her off that effort, but she certainly has the talent if she's on top of her game. We move on to race 7, another division of the Walnut Hall Limited Cup for the 2-year-old trotting colts. How about number 2 Habitat? The Burks again. They've got Mission Brief, who arguably is the top 2-year-old trotting filly. This could be the top 2-year-old trotting colt.
And he's actually landed in a fairly soft division in terms of bluegrass competition here, in my opinion. Habitat, obviously a dominant winner there in that $351,000 William Wellwood stake there in Canada. I look at for an ice cold exact here in the 7th, Sam. I think clearly the 4 Cruzado de la Noche is second best. Comes off that break, but prior efforts were sharp.
My best long shot of the day is in here to hit the ticket. Number 9, Mountaintop. New Jersey Sire Stakes final. Francisco Del Cid made 3 moves with this colt early on, and hit the board in there at 165 to 1. He finished third against some pretty good company. I know his lines don't look that good, but the horse can flat out trot, and if he could just finish third, we'll blow up that trifecta in a big way. Moving on to the 8th race, good group in the Crawford Farms division here for 2-year-old pacing fillies. To me, it's a matchup between the 1 and the 6, Shikai Hanover and Bedroom Confessions. Shikai might be a little bit better price, so I'm going to try her, but really can't split those two.
Yeah, it was a toss-up even when I was making the morning line between those two fillies. Obviously stand out. Shikai Hanover actually changes barns here, moves over to trainer Ross Krogan. We'll try and catch up with him prior to that in the 8th race. I gave the slight edge to the 6, Bedroom Confessions. She's finished up a solid second in behind JK She's a Lady, who of course we know is a very talented 2-year-old filly. So dodging that rival tonight, I'm going to give her the top call in race 8.
9th race, a division of the Can Tab Hall, late closer for the 2-year-old Colden Gelding Trotters, and a number 3 Pink Man beat Grand Circuit Competition on Jug Day at Delaware. Got a perfect trip, but still beat the New York Sire Stakes champion Crazy Wow. That was only his second career start. He should just lay over the field based on that effort.
You would certainly think so. He's going to be odds-on in this spot, though. Obviously, did have a perfect trip there last time at Delaware. And this is my long shot special of the day, Sam, and I think I'm going to get a big price in here as well. That's with the 7 Celebrity Pegasus for trainer Ron Gerfine. Matt Kakaley has the drive. It's pretty much an unproven group here, in my opinion. Celebrity Pegasus was facing an overnight field here at the Red Mile in his last start. He was making a bold move around the far turn. I believe he was going to be an open length winner, probably 8 to 10 lengths in there. I think he was going to try to mile somewhere in the 55 and change 56 range, and I believe if he comes back with a similar effort tonight, minds his manners, could be a logical long shot here to wrap up the pick four.
Well, I know you're a great race watcher, and if you say so, I'm on board as well. Celebrity Pegasus, Gabe's long shot of the night. He's the 7 horse in race 9. We move on to the 10th race, Walnut Hall Limited Cup. Pretty good group here. Guess who's back? Some time off. If he's fit, I think he's probably the horse to beat, and his qualifier was pretty good.
It was, and I believe that is the key here. Qualified against the Bank, who's a nice 2-year-old out of Jimmy Tactor's barn. Home in 27 and a 5th. I really like this guy in the Peter Houghton, actually, earlier in the summer. He made an unfortunate break in that one, but should be able to sit back. Draws a mid-pack post tonight. Look for him to rally late. I give him the top call as well. Won't be easy, obviously, with a 6. Uncle Lassie, a talented 2-year-old in his own right. He was 3 to 5 in the big stake last time out.
And look for Iron, the 3-horse to race well. They put up Tim Tetrick for Team Antonacci. This horse won an American National Division at Balmoral. I think I read he was bitten by a spider earlier in the year, which sidelined him for quite some time, but he's moving forward and could be a major player there. 11th race, another division of the Walnut Hall Limited Cup. We talked about the Bank. He ends up in this division and is probably the horse to beat, but I like the 5, Pierce Wave Hanover. The race at Delaware, he just could never get involved, never had a shot in that race. Second time Burke, and he was good in the Pennsylvania program.
He certainly was. He's a logical contender here, no doubt about that. I did go with the Bank, though, from trainer Jimmy Tactor. Obviously, his resume not as flashy as some of the other 2-year-old trotting colts we see in tonight. But if you look back at the Bank, he finished a neck behind Guess Who's Back in the qualifier, a neck behind Habitat earlier in the season, and he actually beat Centurion ATM in an earlier start on the Pennsylvania Sire Circuit. So he has proven he can go at the top level, and it's a pretty soft division compared to some of the others tonight.
And he is legit and deserves to be the favorite, no question about that. So if we have any money left for the finale, I know you like the inside, I believe, Curfew. I like the outside, Flying and Gliding, the 9-horse. Just bookends, we'll box them up in the exacta?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that plan. I think we're both going to get solid value with those. The key thing to keep in mind here, the finale tonight, Sam, the 20-cent Super High Five was not covered last night, so we've got about $1,900 in the carryover, and I believe that you could obviously make a case for several of these. Obviously, the AP Mac Attack probably going to be the favorite. He's a bit further along, maybe shown a bit more on paper than his rivals here, but as you mentioned, I did go inside to the 1 Curfew. Hopefully, we're going to make an earlier Curfew tonight and not have the delay like last night.
And the 6-horse Explosive Brother, a first-time starter, is a half-brother to Mr. Muscleman for Noel Daly, so certainly some strong connections there. So that's how we see it for tonight's Grand Circuit card on this beautiful Friday evening here at Lexington's Red Mile. First post at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the races, everyone, and best of luck. We'll talk to you again real soon. Stay tuned. Real soon.